Female Composers Etudes Project Week number 3. I played Farrenc number 6 and Montgeroult number 4. Both etudes had the topic of independent hands, so it was sort of independent hands week for me. Farrenc was really comfortable to play. It actually felt like this etude was written for my hands, which is an effect that I have already recognized in her works before. Somehow there is a connection between Farrenc and me, or her hands were similar to mine or something. I don't know what it is, but somehow it's really a match. Well, maybe I'll find out why exactly her works are so perfect for my hands. At the moment I don't have an answer. I just observate this and, well, let's see. The Montgeroult etude was also quite comfortable to play, actually. I didn't have any pain, I didn't have any stiffness. It felt really natural and good for my hands. The only thing that made the recording very, very tricky was that you have to be fully concentrated when you record it. So you cannot allow yourself to be distracted, because the moment this happens, you start to play wrong notes. There isn't any pattern in this etude. So this was quite a challenge, but I learned a lot. For me personally, the fourth etude from Montgeroult was a lot easier than her first, second and third. And this made me wonder why she chose this order, because I realized, or in my opinion, the upcoming etudes seem to be easier than the first 3. I'm not quite sure whether this is because of my playing or whether this is really like this. So if it's like this, the reason could be that she makes the hard one in the beginning, so that you really have to master the first pieces. And after that you have mastered this, you have the basics, and then you can start to build up your technique based on a solid ground. I'm not completely sure whether this is my subjective opinion and my subjective impression, or whether this is really her way of teaching. So I will keep this in mind, and I will just continue to practice and see what will happen with the upcoming etudes. Whether they will be progressive, or whether she mixes between hard ones and easier ones. So I will keep you updated. After this week, again, my piano technique has changed a lot, especially after playing Montgeroult number 4. Now at the moment I have the feeling that my hands are much heavier than before, like there's some extra weight in them. I have a better grip, and I also feel much more secure, and I recognized it especially when I started to practice the new etudes, the upcoming ones. Even sight reading I feel much safer now. So this was really an interesting observation. And the other thing, maybe you remembered it. Last week I had the vague feeling that my hands seem to be wider, and now I somehow have the evidence, because I was curious and I just was sight reading through Fanny Hensel Übungsstücke, and there's one piece called Schlussstück, and to play this one you have to have a very wide hand. And normally I would never have been able to play a piece like this, because there's a big distance between the 4th and the 5th finger, and my hands are not so broad, so I cannot do it. And I was completely surprised when sight reading that I discovered that now I can actually do it. So the space between the fifth and the fourth finger is really bigger now. Well, this was really like a small miracle, because I always thought that my hands have a limitation, and there are pieces that I will never be able to play because of my physics. So this was really, yeah, stunning. For this reason, I took the Fanny Hensel Übungsstück into my repertoire that I practice at the moment, and I really hope that one fine day I'll be able to record this as well. And so my daily practice routine at the moment is Farrenc, Etudes 1 to 9, Montgeroult, Etudes 1 to 9, Turner, lesson number 1, first movement, Szymanowska, Etude number 1, and Fanny Hensel, Schluss from her Übungsstücke. Well, this is quite a program. I'm really looking forward to week number 4.